The 60 FPS topic for GTA 6 seemingly will not die. A couple of days ago, of course, I made the video talking about how there was this new rumor, this new leak that said the PS5 Pro was going to have 60 FPS, although only a few days before that, a ex-Rockstar developer said that it's almost impossible for Rockstar to squeeze out 60 FPS on the PS5 and even the PS5 Pro. Like, he said it would almost take magic for them to do that. Well, if you're on the 60 FPS hope train, we do in fact have another quote-unquote leaker claiming that the PS5 Pro will in fact have 60 FPS. So this is coming from this guy, Hip Hop Gamer. Now, this is a guy who's been around in the gaming industry for like 15 plus years. He does have some deep connections. He is actually followed by Rockstar, which doesn't necessarily mean a whole bunch, but I thought that was a bit relevant. Over the years, I've seen his name in a couple of things that turned out to be true, but like other leakers, he also has a bunch of stuff that isn't true. I would say he's a little bit more believable than the Detective Seeds guy who originally broke this story, but here's what he had to say. This all came from me, and I confirm this. It is not a rumor. You all know this because you credited me before, which I'm thankful for at the same time, but let's stay consistent. 60 FPS is happening. Also, for the fun of it, here's something that people don't know. And we'll come back to this part in a moment, but he is saying 60 FPS is happening. Now, he's not going into detail on if it's just going to be the PS5 Pro or if it's all consoles, but here we have another guy pretty confidently saying 60 FPS is happening. Now, for me personally, unless someone like Jason Schreier comes out, or even, of course, Rockstar themselves comes out and says, yes, 60 FPS is going to be in GTA 6, I'm just not believing this. Given what I know, given what people smarter than me know about hardware, it just does not seem very realistic. Even if these people, these leakers are claiming it's going to happen. Like, I'm sure Rockstar want to do it. I'm sure they're trying to do it. I just don't see how they're going to do it. I don't want to go too deep into this because, again, we already discussed it a few days ago. But again, the PS5 Pro pretty much has the exact same CPU as the PS5. So in a world where the PS5 Pro gets a 60 FPS mode, theoretically, the PS5, the base PS5, should also get the same 60 FPS mode. You know, it might be like 55 FPS or something, but it should be pretty similar to the PS5 Pro. And if it is just locked to the PS5 Pro, then I think that's probably a decision made by Sony because, of course, they want people to buy the PS5 Pro, spend $700 for it just to play GTA 6 at 60 FPS. I do also want to just point out the PS5 came out in 2020, so it's going to be a 6-year-old console, it's 6-year-old hardware when GTA 6 does release on it. And I've seen some people bring up the fact that Death Stranding 2, a game that looks beautiful, like the graphics are incredible, it has a 60 FPS mode. And I haven't seen too much from Death Stranding 2, so I'm not entirely sure if it's much different from the first one. But the world of the first one, it's a barren world, which like obviously fits with the story and it makes sense, but it is not even close to being comparable to a world like GTA. So if anyone's going to bring up Death Stranding 2 as a comparison that it has 60 FPS, so GTA 6 should, that is not even close to being a comparable game. So I know the PS5 fanboys probably want this to be true, and I'm sure most of us want this to be true. I really still do not believe that it will be true. I mean, like I said in the last video, unless Rockstar severely toned down so much stuff like NPC density, foliage density, NPC car variety, you know, stuff like that, unless they tone all of that down, I just don't see how it's possible. And at that point, it's like, do you even want to play GTA 6 that is toned down so much? Maybe some people do, but I don't know. We'll see. I hopefully this is the last time we talk about the 60 FPS thing, just because it's just so unknown. Like I said, unless we get a major leaker, like a very, very reputable leaker, or Rockstar themselves comes out, I am just going to choose to not believe GTA 6 will have a 60 FPS mode, because then I won't be disappointed, you know, when it doesn't. And if it does, we'll obviously be pleasantly surprised. Now, going back to the original leak here from the Hip Hop Gamer guy, this I think is actually way more interesting than the 60 FPS debate. The final part, he says, going back up here, for the fun of it, here's something that most people don't know yet. I can confirm that GTA 6 will also feature a mode similar to ESPN NFL 2K5. They had a custom music mode, and he's saying GTA 6 will have something similar. It's going to be major, and most likely it will come post-launch, but the fact is, it is coming. And he says in quotes, Rockstar Radio, get ready. So first off, let's take a look at what the NFL ESPN 2K5 custom music thing was. I found these forums from back in 2003. The way you would do it, you would put your music CD, those were a thing, kids, back in the day, into the Xbox. You would then copy the tracks from the CD to the Xbox, I guess. And then there was a way that it went into the NFL 2K5 game. And this is what you could change. You could change the music for things like when you got a touchdown, when you kicked a field goal, when you had a sack, pretty much anything that had music, I guess, in that game, you could change the music to your own custom music. So him saying here that GTA 6 will have a mode similar, that is very interesting. And I think it could go a number of ways. Number one, the most basic is something that they've actually done with a bunch of their games in the past, a self radio. This was in, of course, GTA 5 on PC at least. I think you could also do something similar in GTA 4. I think even in San Andreas, there was an option similar to this. But on PC, on GTA 5, you could upload your songs to this, this folder. And then in game, you would get a self radio option when you opened up the radio wheel, and you would basically just listen to all of your music. It was pretty basic. It was literally just your music, and that was it. Now, I think for GTA 6, if they wanted to expand on this and make it a lot better, you could still upload your music, but instead of it just playing your music, it would integrate into a radio station, like one of those fake radio stations that we all love to listen to in GTA games. And something like that would make this self radio station, this custom radio station, just feel a lot more ingrained into the game. Rather it just being, a bunch of songs playing, if there was breaks between the songs where the hosts of the radio station would interact, talk, whatever, make some GTA style jokes, I think that goes a long way, and that makes this sound pretty cool, if that's what he's talking about. Another option is something similar. It could also be you could take the songs from the other radio stations and combine them into a radio station of just the songs you like. Because of course, I'm sure at some point, if you pick, let's just say V-Rock in GTA 6, maybe you don't like a handful of songs in the radio station. So you could pick and choose which songs you want. And you could also then go to another radio station, maybe something like Flash FM, I think it was called in the original Vice City game. And you could take some songs from that so that you could build your own radio station of rock songs, of pop songs, of hip hop songs, country songs, whatever the case may be. I think that's also a really cool thing that Rockstar could do to give people just customability, customization to their game. And then the third option, and this maybe is a little bit far-fetched, although if it is coming after the fact, maybe it is a pretty expansive thing. There was this game, Beater Raider, that Rockstar made back in 2010. It was a game, I think, where you literally make your own beats, like you make your own music. Rockstar loves their music. I could definitely see them having something like this in GTA 6, where you could make songs, you could make beats, and obviously that could tie into the radio station. But yeah, something like this would maybe be a really cool thing for Rockstar to add, and I think that definitely could fit a custom music mode. And I mean, look, again, this guy isn't the most reputable, but he is pretty confident here in saying this music mode is going to be major and it'll come post-launch. So, I mean, I would imagine if it does come post-launch, that would mean Rockstar, they're pretty heavily focusing on it. So assuming this leak right here is true, I think this could be a pretty cool little feature they've added to GTA 6. But of course, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below on, I guess, both topics. Although again, the 60 FPS debate, I mean, it's just a mess. But the custom music mode, I think everyone would enjoy if Rockstar added that to the game. So I do think this leak, the music part of it, sounds pretty cool, and I think it's pretty believable as well. So we'll have to wait and see, but sounds pretty interesting. That is going to do it for today's GTA 6 video. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA 6 content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.